You are now listening to Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, the voice for the people. Join Richie alongside co-host property damage attorney Hans Kennon as they bring light to the taboo world of big insurance companies, exposing their tactics and fighting for justice. Hear stories from contractors across the state. Contractor Talk, here to protect homeowners and uncover the truth.
All right, welcome to the show, Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, every Monday night right here on 94.9 FM, 950 on the AM dial, The Answer. And over to you, everywhere you like to stream. And another shot, check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe us there. Don't miss a show, especially to look at or to check out Hans' dapper suit of the week and attire. And you will never find the same ensemble at any given show. I dare you to go check it out. Go check out our website, contractortalkpodcast.com, is where you'll find everything about us. And that's all direct links to where we have our streaming and where our YouTube channel is. So anyways, yeah, man, this is a great week as we're kicking off. It feels like spring out now. It's much warmer. We were having these cold spells coming in. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I wake up Saturday morning, it's like 60 degrees. I'm like, what in the world happened? But now it's a little bit warmer. Spring has sprung. So what's going on with you, Hans? I know I was pausing. I thought you had something to say, and then I'm like, all right, maybe.
I was something to say.
Not.
I thought it was more of the pregnant pause, waiting for us to fill in. No, everything's good. I had a good day today. I wasn't sure about the day, but I settled 2 out of 3 cases today that I had on the agenda today. So
all mediations?
Yeah, the mediations, got them done. I think I took care of the clients. Very happy. Everyone's satisfied.
That's great.
So it was a good day. Mondays on tax time. April 15th. It's always a bad week. So I didn't know what was going to happen this week, but it all worked out so far so good today. So I have a better attitude now that I'm here.
There you go. I like it. And most of the claims don't settle in mediation these days. I mean, maybe more and more these days. And now that there is no attorney fee privilege for those folks that are in a dispute with their insurance company, which there was a law since like the 1890s that says that if the insurance company was found wrong in a dispute in any lines of insurance, we're talking about life insurance, if there's a dispute there, medical, there's a dispute there. We all know about that. Watch out, United Healthcare people. But then a dispute within auto and a dispute within property, those are your major lines of insurance. Well, all that was stripped away by our dictator DeSantis, all by giving $100 million by the insurance lobby and says, hey, good luck running for president against Trump. Here you go. The smarter move would have been for him to run to vice president. Then we could have got him out of our state.
Yeah, sooner.
Yeah, no kidding. At that point, Janet Nunez was in power. That's before DeSantis appointed her to a different position.
Who's that? I've never seen her. I've never actually seen her before.
Not really, just on a photo or whatever.
They put her on, she's now president of FIU, I believe.
Yes, and that's why she left. Oh, yeah, so it wasn't an appointed situation. No, but I guess she did leave. But, that would have been a good reason for her to stay around.
Yes.
It was just anybody. I guess I was just yearning for anybody but DeSantis, but a dictator bought and paid for by the insurance lobby. If you're going to be bought and paid for by somebody, at least by some sort of consumer advocacy group of some sort,
Because consumers don't have that kind of money.
No, they don't. And unfortunately, it's all big business and insurance. You would think the insurance is the biggest lobbying firm, or how do I say, PAC funds out there, but it's really mortgage and banks, right? And where are they in all this debacle of like most homeowners don't have any assistance, any help, and they take whatever lowball offer they have, or more concerningly enough, or like a citizens policy, which Citizens owned by the state of Florida. So you think they would be on your side. It's like, okay, state-run, state-owned cities, at least they'll take care of you.
I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
Right. That's what it used to be. It used to be, okay, I'll believe that, and they're there to help you. But they really aren't. Citizens is horrible. If you have a claim, if you have a dispute against them, you'll never see a day of court. You'll never get an honest or fair set of juror of peers.
Juror of your peers, because it'll be decided by a single administrative law judge appointed by the governor.
And paid by who?
Paid by, let me think. I think
Who pays for that?
who pays for that? The insurance companies pay for that.
Oh, Citizens pays
Citizens
for it. Wait,
pays for it.
wow. Holy cow. So they pay for everything. They pay for the judge. They pay for the setup. They pay for the time, and this in their own administrative hearings.
Yep.
And so do you think they would get any favor for doing that?
I mean, look, out of the last 100 files, Citizens won 99 of them, I believe, is the last total. So I'm sure it's a
pretty good
balanced
record.
process. I'm sure it's a fair. I'm sure
Right.
those 99 people were all wrong, had no basis for their claim.
No.
It was all just a sham.
It really is a sad day. I mean, you look back at the paper 6 months ago, and they had an update on all the Hurricane Milton claims, and they said 50% or more. Here's a laundry list of insurance companies. They had a separate article that said Citizens Insurance denied 77% of all claims filed by Hurricane Milton and Helene. That was before that, so combined. And I'm like, that is a lot of people. And they had over 1 million policies at that point, and 77% of them were denied or paid under deductible. Yep. That's a sad day. That's when you really know that the government is not there to help you. They're a one-way transaction. You pay them, you get prospected coverage, but when you actually need it, you don't get it, and that's frustrating. You know, what does that do? Going back to the lenders, the banks, the institutions that then give the money to and hold the notes for these properties, and you're like, okay, what do you think a homeowner is going to do when they've been shortchanged or not paid after a disaster? They're going to just podge it together. And that's your asset.
Well, I mean, that's what's so surprising. It reminds me of The Big Short. I was watching again the movie recently when the housing market disappeared in 2008, 2009, because they're giving out mortgages to everybody who shouldn't get one. To me, it's almost the same deal now. They make insurance so prohibitively expensive, the payouts so low that people are really unable to maintain their collateral or collateral well on behalf of the bank. So you'd think the banks, mortgage companies, as you said, would be much more proactive with the legislature saying we need protection to make sure our assets are protected. They got enough money to spend to buy those votes. They should be going out and inspecting properties, keeping an eye on things, making sure that money is used properly, and then assisting on the lobbying side to have legislation that will help them protect their property, which in turn protects the citizens, protects the consumers, and allows, honestly, people like myself and yourself to continue to assist people who have those problems.
Right. And they know what they're doing. They've been playing this long game, and this is talking about the insurance lobby and playing the long game, and they'll throw everything at the wall, and they'll get like 10% of it every year. So every year they keep coming back. They get a little sliver more, a little sliver more, and we all make adjustments for it. We learn, we know better, we do better, and we make those minor adjustments. And then it seemed like just the dog, you know, how we want to say, like the sun was shining on the dog's ass. However we want to say it at that given time, it was just perfect moment for the insurance lobby to see an entrada here to the DeSantis camp, and really going off of what he needed. And it was a lot of money very fast to be able to go to D.C. and be a somewhat of a good candidate and in opposition.
He lost in Iowa. He didn't even beat him.
He didn't even get out of there for crying out loud. He spent so much time there, which is an odd state as in all. More counties than we have here in Florida.
No, I think it's 99 counties, if I remember correctly. Iowa, I think it's 99 counties.
Right. And Florida ain't one. And there he was, majority of the time, and not winning. You know, and so and that's unfortunate. So now he's trying to make some sort of, I don't know, trying to make up for it on his way out.
It's a little bit like Bill Gates is now. Like everyone always said Bill Gates was really such a bad guy. Like he was terrible to work with, terrible to do business with. You know, very megalomaniacal, all those things. And he makes like $1 trillion. Now he starts giving it all away, like to make like revisionist history, to remind him, go, no, all that stuff about me, no, look how much I've given away now since I took everything from the people or from my business partners, from anyone maybe, kind of like DeSantis does. You take all that money, then you spend it, and you're like, oh, no, now see, now I got rid of property taxes for you, so you'll be better off. I'll tell you something right now. You know, you got to pay something to upkeep the state, right? Right. Buildings, roads, bridges, you got to pay something.
Right. So
the idea that you're gonna abolish property taxes, I don't know where the money's still got to come from somewhere.
Right. And I saw different candidates with different plans. Apparently, there's an up and coming Democratic last name Jolly.
Oh, David Jolly,
David Jolly.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was doing a little research on him before the show, and it seems like he does, or he's kind of winning in the polls on the Democratic side. 50% or more of them haven't shown up to say which way, so it's a very far out type of poll. But over Jerry Demings, which is the Orange County sheriff.
Yes.
And so
she's in the house. Is she in the House now? A House rep?
No, I think it's the guy. The husband.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Jerry Deming.
Yeah.
Right.
I might have said the name wrong because I don't know my candidates that way. But I was looking to see how they were backed or how they are proposing to. However, talk to the folks that are voting to them and saying this is my number one. And apparently, property insurance specifically, is his number one thing to fix. So, interested to see more about what his plans are. I read a little bit about it, but not interested to talk about it this time. It's a little bit too far out. Now we are sponsored by the Restoration Association of Florida. We have folks that are mostly contractors, a part of our group, that help and support our presence in Tallahassee, but more or less really is just education in this industry. And like Senator Farmer told us, if you're not at the table, you're on the table. So it's really important to know what's going on, what could potentially come up, or what relevant laws to our industry have changed that would be very helpful to know before you get in an infraction or before you're dealing in an instance where you could get in trouble. That's a lot. That's a lot of what Restoration Association of Florida does. Check out our website, raflorida.org, and if you're interested, if you're a contractor to become a member, check us out there, raflorida.org.
Now, interesting. Before not that long ago, we were talking about the mortgage companies and bankers, and not really worried about people repairing their homes, are doing a good job doing that. And I was just thinking to myself, where might be someone we know who we could refer to who might do, I don't know how I'm going to put it, home repairs maybe? Would a home repair, someone who needs help with that, if they got an issue with their insurance company, they need to get something done. But I don't know where they would turn. Richard, do you know where they would turn?
Especially in this Central Florida listening radius here, right here on 94.9 FM, right? We have tonight Bernie with Home Repair Connection, our contractors.
Stop.
There we go.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
We really do. We really do. See, great. I mean, as I say, we always bring good guests here to our show, and Bernie is somebody that we want to introduce this show to, and here's our night to do so. What's going on, Bernie? How are you?
I'm doing fine. Doing great.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, checking out our show tonight.
Happy that you're able to invite us.
Yeah, man, this is great. And what is your coverage area? What's your service area?
We basically deal Central Florida, like Orlando, Lake County, Orange County.
Nice. And how long have you been in the industry?
Since 1994.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Long time.
I was a freshman in high school.
I was graduating law school.
All right.
I don't feel too bad.
Angela, were you born yet?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I don't feel bad when I talk to someone, they go, when were you born? 2000. I'm like, 2000? How is that even possible?
How is that possible? And they're at a bar, they're drinking, you're like doing the math, you're like, wait, oh my gosh, it is 2026. Holy cow.
So Bernie, you can't be the home construction whisperer today. Yeah. You got to tell us about your business and what you do.
Well, we primarily do kitchen, bathroom remodels. We do additions. We do garage, and let's see, pretty much that's what we do. We do some insurance work, but anymore we don't deal too much directly with insurance company. They've just been too hard to deal with.
We know. That's why we're here every Monday night from 7 to 8 of talking about insurance companies.
And that was a great story you mentioned. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with what we talk about here on the show and how that impacts these law changes and how it impacts the homeowner on their one time of need. And your example that you lived through yourself was where the homeowner needed the $41,000 to do the job. And when it come down to it, finally, after 14 months?
Yes.
Of waiting, they finally give the $41,000, but the homeowner had to hire an attorney, which since 2022, they changed the law. Since 1890 something, right? We had this law that said if there's a dispute and the insurance company loses, they pay full attorney's fees and costs. Well, during the dictatorship and the buyout, I'll call it, of our governor, who received $100 million from the insurance lobby, who was going through a crisis at that point. When I'm going through a crisis, I don't have $100 million. That's a whole other crisis on its own. That's an Elon Musk type of crisis. So it's like, oh, I'm crying. Here's $100 million. And then, and so there was a lot more of strategy behind there. It was a combined effort of the Office of No Regulation here in the state of Florida, where they were just they were like Oprah sitting there like, you get an increase. I love living that, because I always think of like Oprah just giving away everything, right? She's the person to go to. That's just like, if you want something and you want it big, you go there, right? But that's what the state of Florida was doing. In sync with what the governor was offering, was saying, listen, we're gonna the premiums for property insurance are going to rise, and then he's going to have what do legislators have? They always have a solution ready for a problem that maybe sometimes doesn't exist. Yep. So what do? You create that problem and you say, look, here it is. And it sure did come out pretty quick. Once the prices of property insurance, it literally started raising in January. That year, session fired up in March. Yep. And they were already like, oh, look at it. Look at property insurance. It's through the roof. You saw this, whatever. Meanwhile, they're supposed to have public hearings. Anything over 14.9%, they're supposed to have a public hearing. No public hearings at all. The Office of Insurance of No Regulation. David Allmeyer was just rubber stamping, allowing this to happen. He's the problem. He started it, and then he started the dumpster fire and left. Sorry, I go off on side tangents all the time.
Sure. Well, one thing I always want to mention, everyone, is everyone complains about the insurance company, as do I. But insurance companies don't do anything without the state allowing them to do so. When we talk about these issues, and people are mad at State Farm and mad at everybody, and I hate to use the line, hate the game, not the player, but the game was set up by the state of Florida that the insurers had to come to them for any approvals, any policy changes, any things that you see, premium increases. Insurance companies can't do anything without the state's approval. So every time you complain about the insurance company, feel free to do so, but realize it's your elected officials, people like the CFO of the state of Florida and the other legislators who allow this to occur. So again, you can always look at the insurer and dislike them, but realize that's why voting counts. That's why voting means something. You have to go vote. You have to vote out the people who allowed this all to occur. It didn't happen in a vacuum. It didn't happen by accident. It happened simply by legislators, and the executive branch, and then the agency branch approving anything that was asked for.
Right. FrankForChange.com is one of the guests that we've had on the show a few weeks ago, and then a few months back, and he has a great solution, a great plan rather, for if he becomes the CFO for the state of Florida. He's registered Republican, and there's nobody running in the Democratic side of things. So that means that the race is really going to be in the primary. So August 18th, we all have to show up. If you're registered Republican, you can vote and show up. We'll have a bag of Doritos, right? It's a good.
For all the weed smokers.
That's right. So remember, we're going back to the ballots, right? The main ballot, there's going to be maybe recreational marijuana again, but there's going to be the property tax. It has to be 60% or more. So it's going to be a situation on the ballot. So, but anyway, let's jump back to the CFO race.
Which should mean there's a fair amount of people coming out to vote.
I sure hope so.
Between the recreational weed and property taxes, that should bring out a pretty good showing, which is why there should be enough people to elect Frank College for CFO.
Well, he has to make it through. He has to make it through the primaries.
Right. But if he wins the primary,
that's it. Then he is the CFO.
Right. Which so that you got to come vote August 18th. Vote for Frank in the primary, because again, with no contender against him.
That's going to be tough. All the tens of people that show up to vote in the primaries, it's going to be tough. You know, I'm going to hold my picket sign up and say, vote for Frank. They're going to say, Frank who? Just look on the ballot. There's one Frank. And so maybe not, I don't know, but at least there's one Frank for CFO. So frankforchange.com. We've had him on a show. He has great plans to make it a little bit more even for the consumers. But going back to your story, when they finally got the settlement 14 months later, they got the $41,000. But $10,000 had to go to the attorney because they had to get help. They had to go to get an attorney to do that. And that puts in the contractor, the homeowner, everybody in a precarious spot, because then they're wondering, how can I bridge that gap, right? Maybe they're coming to you and looking, is there a way we can do it for $31,000? Or now they have to go get a loan to section the rest of it?
Either that, or they have to cut some corners and not do everything that they paid for.
Right.
That they had gotten through the insurance company, because they just don't have enough money. And these people did not have the income to be able to get an additional $10,000.
Man.
It's hard, because obviously the requirement under the policy is the home is returned back to its pre-loss condition. And if you can't do that, it's funny, the policy requires payment for pre-loss condition, but because of the way they changed the legislature around, you actually can't get that money anymore that the policy requires them to pay. And I'm a lawyer. I mean, that's how I feed my family. But I understand the policy says enough money to return to pre-loss condition. Oh, but you have another deductible, Mrs. Smith. You have to pay your lawyer also.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not right.
That's not right at all. And so, Bernie, so the folks that are listening here in Central Florida area, your I would say your bread and butter then would be your kitchen, bathroom remodels. Is that where
kitchen,
you live mostly?
bathroom additions, things along that line. We do insurance work, and we do recommend, if they don't get their money from the insurance company, or if they're not willing to negotiate, then to consult an attorney or that. So absolutely. Now, if somebody wanted to say, okay, hey, while I'm fighting these out and waiting 14 months or whichever, however long it could possibly take, some folks offer financing, maybe even some sort of direct to a vendor that works or helps out homeowners. I know do you guys offer or point them to some other different financing to help finish their projects, or how does that work for you guys? Yeah, we do offer some financing as well. That's great. And as far as the insurance goes, it happens all the time. We get calls all the time where the insurance company just doesn't give them enough money. It's just gotten to be really terrible. Yeah. And when they do get money, it takes them a year or so. This man was not able to live in his house for over a year before we were able to get it finished for him.
Holy cow.
And he was basically very ill. So it was really a tough thing for him.
See, and that's the sad part is that the insurance companies, we've all heard of delay, deny, defend, and it's a real thing. They'll stretch you out to where they know that whether you're in poor health, not living in there, whichever it is, they should be paying, in my opinion, I don't know anything about it, but they should have maybe owed him for like ALE.
Additional living expenses under the policy, yes, sir.
Right, or others outside of your damages are $41,000. They're going to get worse over that next 14 months, and maybe no supplements were done. In my head, it's just the insured is missing so much out of that. But the point that I was getting to is like the attorney may have pushed for the real amount. Like say they may have pushed for $80,000, whatever it is, a little bit more than the 41. But what does the insurance companies do? They say, nope, I'll give you this, or we're going to go to trial, or there's a chance that you're going to lose on a technicality, and
sure,
and they either will try to submit a proposal for settlement,
where the insurer often, but really just insult to injury. And even though there was a huge complaints about this in the legislature, like it was unfair, but if you put a case into litigation, State Farm can make you a nominal offer, like $1 or $100, and if a jury doesn't see it your way, you then get a judgment against you for all of the insurance company's fees and costs, and even these days, if you're correct, unless you hit the bullseye, your client still has to pay you all of your fee, my fees and my costs, from the settlement, from the result. There needs to be a pendulum swing back to at least allowing the attorney to recover on behalf of the consumer money that the consumer needs to repair their home.
Well, we have the legislation. It was proposed and it went through the House. It got voted. Yep. I think it was only off. I think only one person didn't vote for it or something like that.
House was good. Danny Perez did a good job with that for us.
It was. And you can thank your senators, and this is sarcastic, for not allowing that bill to go through, to move at all in the Senate. And then when the Senate pushed a different bill that they really wanted through to the House, the House said, okay, cool. Since you didn't move our bill there and we passed it all the way through here, we're going to take that section for attorney's fees and put it into this phosphate mining bill, which you guys really like in the Senate, and send it back. What does the Senate do? They killed it. Yep. They killed it.
That was Senator Albritton who decided that he didn't want that bill to go forward. So again, people, they tend to follow the leadership. Yep. So that's the case. If you live in a district with Senator Albritton, I'm not sure what district he's in.
And the previous president, Pasadomo.
Oh, yes, of course.
You can thank her for being the rules chair and be like, yeah, no, it's not. I'm definitely not hearing it here, so don't even put it through banking and insurance.
So if you're concerned about your insurance premiums and you live in a district with Pasadomo or Albritton, they're the ones who made your premiums go up.
Those are the ones you need to send an email to and say, thanks for nothing. But this year we need to do something. We need to make the pendulum swing the other way, and it's by getting behind legislation that helps out consumers. puts back on the attorney's fees. The bill I was talking about was what they call loser pays, and that's a little bit more fair, right?
Sure.
So if you're an insured, you win against the big bad insurance companies, they pay.
Yep.
Right? And then it puts the frivolous actors from not filing suit, because if they don't win, you got to pay.
Yep.
So that takes the frivolous people
Weeds
out.
out the junk.
It sure does. It sure does. So, all right, we're going to take a break here, give some thanks to our sponsors. Check us out on www.raflorida.org for more information on how to join our association, the Restoration Association of Florida. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back live on Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell every Monday right here. Tune in live if you want to check us out. 94.9 FM, 950 on the AM dial. I believe you can check us out online. Is that a website right there? Is that a website, somethingorlando.com or whatever? But I'm sure if you like Google search it, 94.9. What is it? TheAnswerOrlando.com. There we go. So you can check us out live and hit the listen live button on there if you're that curious. And then, of course, we have a call-in number. You can call and ask us questions, 407-774-TALK or 774-8255. Actually, I had a young person, and I was trying to be something cool and be like, whenever I say we have a number 844 call AQA, and they're like, well, what if we, how do you know the number? I'm like, are you kidding me? Most kids these days are, man, I'm sounding like my dad. Never mind. I'm just going to keep on going. So, but on the show tonight, we have Bernie with Home Repair Contractors, and he services the Central Florida area. And his bread and butter is especially now, we have a couple of years in between storms. Folks are now not having to fix their home because they have to, but it's because they love living in their home. They want to do upgrades. They maybe want to do an addition. They want to swap out their bathroom. They want to upgrade their kitchen. Maybe they want to go like I did from electric to gas, and that's a big to-do. I thought it was just easy, but apparently that wasn't an easy thing to do. Even adding on certain things like certain cool things, pavers to pull screen enclosures and those types of extensions. So from what I understand, you're the guy here in Central Florida, and so it's been let's see how many years, 30 plus years in the industry, and so a lot of that knowledge goes a long way. So Bernie, tell us a little bit about your how to get a hold of you here. And I do understand you offer free estimates to those folks who are wanting to get a bathroom redone or get a remodel done at their home.
Right. You can always reach us on our office line, which is 352-735-1226. Sorry.
I know everything from you. If it's not in my phone anymore, like someone will go, I got to call one of the kids, and I'll go, yeah, I don't know what's the number. Let me get my phone.
I always give my cell phone out before I give my office number out. So, and then you can always reach us by way of on our website, which is hrcincfl.com.
There you go. And the HRC there, that is the name of your company. So it's a little bit easier.
Stands for Home Repair Contractors.
Boom, just like that.
There you go.
Yeah, HRC, and then you're incorporated here in Florida.com. That's how you get a hold of you. And from your website there, they can put in maybe like a contact us and say, hey, I'm at 123 Elm Street and I'm looking for a remodel or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So,
That's great. That's great. And a lot of experience in this industry. You see so many pop-ups coming up, and you really want somebody with experience. Now, you mentioned you kind of offer both, but and I mean like working in insurance and such like that. A lot of that's kind of like claim volume has gone down, and the quick, how they say in the roofing industry, they say retail, versus re-roof. Mm-hmm. And it was a little bit different for me to understand, but they say, oh yeah, retail roofs are different than re-roofs. I'm like, what are you talking about? Re-roofs are insurance involved, and retail is the quick, I give you bid, you pay me, we put on new roof. And that is the way that construction or remodels are going on right now. Mm-hmm. It seems like there's a spike in those types of in that need rather of I want to feel more comfortable in my home. I want to get a good remodel done. And so you mentioned you've been in here or in the Central Florida area 30 plus years.
32 years.
No kidding.
But we've been in Central Florida a lot longer than that. But I've been a contractor for that long.
No kidding. What was you have any other licensing? Do you do roofs as well?
No, we've got a roofer that we recommend for roofing.
That's good. You stay in your wheelhouse, which is rebuild. That's great. That's great, man. And God love you, man, because I can imagine, like, put back this beautiful kitchen, and there are just some homeowners that are just, you cannot never make happy. So, but God love you for being able to take in all of those clients, and because that's hard work, man. You are the contractor and the finisher in one. So that's where it all relies to. So you have to have good customer service. For you to be in business this long, it has to be excellent customer service and great attention to detail.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we basically have a 5-star review. I mean, we're, people look us up, and they that's how we get recommended from our website and from customer service.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And free estimates, that's huge for somebody here in the Central Florida area that is in the middle of this remodel, and they're like, okay, I need a good contractor, or maybe they're firing their other contractor, so hire somebody that they can trust. What would be, I don't know, what would be the most fun remodel that you've done? Have you done like something so rare, custom that's just something worth talking about?
Yeah, we put a mother-in-law quarters over top of a garage for a customer of ours that basically wanted a nanny for his newborn son, and that turned out exceptionally well. I mean, it was a lot of fun to do, and we got it all done within 2 months' time.
Wow!
Wow. So is it existing garage, and you went above and added on?
Existing garage, and we went over top and extended it out, and it turned out great. You can go on our website, and it's we have some pictures on that as well.
No kidding.
It's a mother-in-law suite, so they didn't put any stairs on it. Just got to put her in there. Then they just take the stairs.
That's right.
Yeah, we actually added a porch out in front and stairway coming down, so it was nice.
Oh, cool! A little Rapunzel action there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Did you see the news recently? The Colorado had a report on talking about weather and the fact that people are doing more like vanity projects and more fun stuff. Colorado, and I'm not sure why University of Colorado has a hurricane reporting arm.
Right.
I mean, they couldn't be any farther away if they tried. But they said it's going to be a light year, which I realized when I read through the article earlier yesterday, was that it's only made one less storm. Like, There's a regular, whatever is like 12.
Well, they say last year was like wildly like crazy for the amount of storms, storms.
There was like, so instead of a normal year is 3 names and like 15 regular.
Right.
And so this one now is like 2 major and 14 regular. So the light year is it's literally like 1 storm less. So I was surprised when I said light. I'm thinking like there'll be no activity this year. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's only 1 storm less than a busy year.
Right.
It's a slow year.
And last year was supposed to be really bad, and we got nothing.
Yeah, and it was bad. What's interesting last year is we all become a bit of meteorologists in this business, was that there was a high pressure system that just pushed them away. They just built like a pinball machine. It just bounced off that high pressure.
It's like everybody put their oscillating fans outside in Florida. It's like, nope, not going here. So every year those memes crack me up, man, and it's just like, nope. We, and who knows? I'm done. I mean, I was going to say I'm done trying to make predictions, but I will be making predictions, I'm sure, as we have more guests on here, and as we get closer to storm season, because it's always exciting. Yep. It's always exciting to be wrong, and just what if scenarios. But we'll see. Is where I'm going. But really, the problem is going to be we'll see. Unfortunately, how these bad policies are going to hold up, and how mad these citizens of Florida are going to go when they wake up one day and they actually read their policy either right before the storm while it's on its way, and they're going, oh my God, I have $10,000 of coverage and that's it. Or I have to use this carrier's preferred pretender who's going to be backed up for 20 months. I literally heard that after Hurricane Ian, that one of the contractors told him that, and it was a roofing contractor, about 18 months out. That was their lead time, because they're a carrier bitch, and that's how far they were back behind, because they have this policy that says you have to use them. Doesn't even give the homeowner a choice to say, okay, I want to use somebody else of my liking. It's my policy, my money.
No matter how long that lead time is.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the dangers of these policies that I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about how it's like, oh, okay, because I had a friend that had was a People's Trust, and they have this they're the ones that kind of founded the right to repair, and they have that. It's like it's $10,000 or we'll get our preferred pretender to do it, whatever the cost is, right? But then every insurance company wants to save money, so what do? They barely pay their sub, and they have them down with an SLA every time that they update it. Like Contractor Connection does that, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that services all of the citizens accounts and all of these spring off ones, and they have to use this Contractor Connections, and they have these tight SLAs with their contractors. We're not going to pay you for this. We're not going to pay you for that. We're not going to pay you for that. So that puts them in a weird position to where they have to cut corners with the homeowner, and then you're getting this just bad work done with like $10 an hour guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you have People's Trust Insurance Company, stop.
Yes.
Like, stop doing that. And do not use People's Trust.
You are not covered if you have a policy as such.
But the nice thing they're willing to do, they're willing to finance your deductible because they won't start work unless you pay the deductible.
Right.
But People's Trust, the insurance company will finance your deductible.
So they take money out of one pocket and they put it in another.
And they actually own the rapid response team, their contractors. I mean, they don't just contract with them; they own them. Like it's the same guys on the board of directors on each company. So if you're in People's Trust, and then also with People's Trust, if they send you a check and you cash it, they don't owe any more money. Like literally in the policy, it says that if you accept our actual cash value payment and deposit it, we're all done.
What about the depreciation?
I'm sorry, that's not available.
But the statute says you owe me replacement cost value.
I'm telling you, but because we always tell our clients basically that you can cash a check and it's not a release of claim,
right?
Except for People's Trust, because literally, if you cash the check,
my gosh,
you are done. Those people get the money and they I better put this check in the bank and put it in my savings account and work with the insurer. People's Trust, if you do that, they owe you no more money.
I've got no trust in them. Zero.
I agree. I'm with you.
So navigating that right before a storm, or realizing that while a storm is barreling your direction, is too late. And unfortunately, even, and I mentioned this last week, is that I have loggerhead insurance. I was so happy that they didn't have all this crap in there. And then to find out that on my renewal date, they put the crap in there.
Ah, yes.
And so they limited me.
And what they did was what the state let them do.
That's right.
Keep going back to that point.
That's right. And they still increased my annual premium and eroded my policy coverage. So now I have that $10,000 limited water endorsement in there, meaning that if I have water damage, which is like the number one way your house gets messed up, right? Wind comes in and then water damage comes in. And so it's like...
And broken pipes, I mean, things like that.
Right.
That's typical
Backups,
stuff.
that kind of thing. But that's limited. $5,000 limited backup, $10,000 water damage, $10,000 mold. So it's like if I have a backup $5,000, I have water damage and mold, maybe $20,000, 10 and 10. But that's not enough to put me back to pre-loss condition, and yet I'm paying $5,000-$6,000 a year for coverage. Anyway, so that is what we need to be aware of, especially as we're going into storm season this year. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after some thanks to our sponsors. All right, our final section here of Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell. Thanks for hanging out throughout the breaks, and if you're listening on streaming, sorry for the pausing and re-intros, but that's how it is in the live radio world here. So over the years, we've started out in live radio, went to podcasts so I can cuss and stuff and be a little bit more passionate, and then I'm like, I got a little bit lazy, and I'm like, we need to be back on a schedule, for crying out loud. Because both Hans and I would both be like, well, I mean, I got dinner plans tonight, or this weekend's coming up. And
How about
like,
Tuesday?
That's bad for me.
Bad.
Very bad for me. So this keeps us honest. It keeps us on a weekly show, new content and such. And so, and I know other podcasts are a little bit, shorter or whichever. So you do have to have an hour to consume the show while you're driving, from point A to point B, or, whatever it is. But it is important to be informed. And that's really what this show is about, is informing you of what's really happening and giving you some little pro tips here. Like I mentioned, right? I mean, there are other insurance companies, and there are for you to choose from by using the tools that the state offers, right? At least one thing, I talk a lot of trash about the Office of Insurance No Regulation, but if you go to their website, Office of Insurance Regulation, OIR, something like that or whatever, you will be able to get to a tool that'll allow you to plug in your county, because it's not by like city or zone, they do it by county, and then you're able to put in new construction or existing construction, 150 to 300,000. It'll give you a little bit more of a zone to start with. Everybody, I'm sure, needs 300,000 or more, but you'll select that and it'll give you the insurance companies in that county that are writing insurance. And there's a big handful of them, 20, 30, 40 of them, that are just in that county, that they recommend through their site. And so it's behooves you to go and check them out, and to also shop your insurance agents and just tell your agent, this is what I'm looking for, right? I want a policy that doesn't restrict me. If I have a water backup, it doesn't restrict me from having water damage in my home, right? It's simple as saying, I mean, most of the damages that get worse, right? Water and building materials equal mold, equal other bad off-gas situations. It could mean ripping stuff out, which has asbestos-containing materials in it. It's just bad when water gets inside. It degrades your home very, very quickly. And so it's something that you have to have a good amount of coverage for. We're in Florida. They already limit us to $10,000 in mold unless you ask for more. So I always say at least get $50,000 in mold. It's like an extra $20 a year from when I was shopping to find that for my personal policy. And so I asked them for $50,000 in mold. I asked them to not have any restrictions for water damages, no $5,000 backup, and no stupid matching. There's this 1% matching clause. I told these are the key things that I want to make sure I don't have. I don't want restrictions, right? And I don't want a citizen's policy that makes me go to DOA, which is Department of Administrative Hearings, that where I know I'm going to lose, right? Uphill battle there. So I don't want that, right? And plus they have managed care programs. I don't want something like People's Trust, which binds me into using a certain provider that I have no idea who it is. Right. I mean, and you tell them too, if you do have a loss and they're coming out, say, cool, I'm going to have an ICE guy over here just inspecting, making sure that everybody has their papers. Hopefully that's cool. Make sure you tell them. And I'm sure nobody will show. But no, I mean, you want to make sure that you have something that you're in control of for the one time of loss that you may have. Storm season is coming. And Hans, if somebody missed that Milton deadline, that's it. They just missed it. But it's still not a bad idea to give you a call and maybe talk to you about their current insurance.
Sure. Well, what's funny actually is I ended up having 2 claims on April 7th come in that needed supplemental claims done in them. So literally 2 days before, somebody came out and I was like, stop. When'd you get a loss? Oh, it's Hurricane Milton. I'm like, you have 48 hours to make that supplement. So we actually did, who knows what will happen with them, but we actually did make 2 supplemental claims on April 7th.
Holy cow. 2
days before the 18 months was going to run out. So, and I just found it so funny because like there's all the things we talk about. One thing you mentioned, which I think is true about this show, which is why I think we still enjoy doing it. We've been doing this like 7 years total now, is that I like to feel we provide people with real information. We have our opinions, obviously, about a variety of things, political or otherwise, regarding how insurance is structured. But the reality is, I really believe in my heart that we provide people factual information they can really use to make their insurance life better, which is, at the end of the day, like you said, it protects usually their largest asset, which is their home. And we talk about how policies change. We talk about all these things. So I'm actually honestly really proud of the fact that we're not just, hey, I don't like that guy. A little bit of that. As we both
definitely
do.
from me, yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, man, we would leave this thing and I say, I provided the citizens of Central Florida an ability to understand the thing that they understand the least, that protects the thing they care about the most other than their family.
That's right. And that's their asset. People feel safe when they're at home, right? That is their safe place. They want to make sure they're not living in a place and they're forced to live in a place that has water damage that's getting worse by the minute. And these insurance companies just delay, deny, and then they want to defend because your only way after 60 days, if they don't pay or deny at that point, your only recourse is to have to file suit, is to call Hans, call an attorney, and to work that direction. But if you have a citizen's policy, you hire you and you file a 10-day demand letter. Now you're in this administrative hearing with no jury. Yeah, I mean, well, once you get past People's Trust, not wanting them, you definitely you don't want Citizens. Now, Citizens a year ago had about 1.4 million policies, the most they ever had, which is crazy.
But within the last year, I will say, at least the last time I looked, it was about 375,000 left. So they shed about 1 million policies, which honestly is pretty impressive, I have to say.
Yeah.
So, but if you have an opportunity to not be with Citizens, take it. If you got put to Slide, to Loggerhead, to Manatee, to Orange, to Bird, to even to Kin, even though Kin's got a roof schedule problem I don't like, which we can talk about.
I got a lot of problems I don't like.
But still, they're really generally almost all better than Citizens, because Citizens, they just don't care.
No,
they're so smug. They just like, what are you going to do? You can't sue them for bad faith. If you do try to sue them at all, they send you to this administrative hearing process in Tallahassee that you're going to lose. There's almost no appeal for any of that. I mean, they literally have no requirement of concern.
No, and the problem that I have with Citizens shedding all those policies is that the crappy policy provisions still exist, right? And now they're just transferred over to another carrier, like this Mangroves or whichever that started in the beginning of 2025, right? And took on a bunch of policies. Now it's just like a different servicer of the crap, right? But the crap is still there, and it's no protection. It's $10,000 unless you use my preferred pretender. And then they'll use the contractor network of Citizens until they renew, and they have to use a different set of system. Why don't they just go to say, you know what, cool, man, if he, instead of us having to use this contractor connection upon renewal, give them the choice to be able to just pay who's ever contractor that the homeowner actually wants to use. I mean, there's a theory, so, but I digress. But when you do finally get your money, settlement, and maybe those are finally starting to come in from Hurricane Milton, you need a contractor that is ready to go to work for you, and that one that is here in Central Florida, has been here for 32 plus years, and that is somebody like HRC Contractors. So is it HRCINCFL.com?
That's it.
I love it. All right. That's how you get to your website. But tell us a little bit more about you. I know that I don't mind if you give your cell phone number. He gives a cell phone number out, because a lot of people they either text or they'll go on the website and they'll do that. But whatever information you want to get out there, get a hold of you. If somebody did finally get the money for them to put back their home, maybe to get them into, or maybe they just want to remodel their kitchen, their bathroom, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, again, you can always reach me at 352-735-1226, or you can also reach me on my cell phone, 352-636-1647. And then again, our website, hrcincfl.com.
Love it. And then also, if you have a good email address?
Yeah, email address is Bernie, that's BERNIE, at hrcincfl.com.
That's right. If you're having a weekend at Bernie's, then I was trying to pull that in somewhere.
I know, trying to work it in somehow. We're doing the same thing. Yeah.
But either way, but if you're a fan, how about that? Then you won't forget that. Then Bernie at HRCINCFL.com. There you go. That's everybody loves it in different ways, because if I'm listening, I'm either going to shoot you an email or I'm going to go to your website real quick if I'm driving, or if I hear your name and I want to get that estimate in. So that's great. So are you part of any networking groups? Is that how you know Angela?
No, I'm not. My wife found Angela, and because we were looking for a different company to take care of our website.
Oh, cool.
Very
good.
Awesome. That's awesome. So it all comes together, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that must be you're a pretty busy guy then.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, because that is something that if you're really good at something, you don't have to market a day in your life. Right. And that just speaks a lot of volumes for you and the work that you do. You wouldn't be in business this long. You would be somebody out there that'd be always looking for business in different ways to market. But it doesn't seem like, you're busy enough to where you don't need to. That's a great sign for all of us, man. And great reviews on your website. That's also a very big plus.
Key these days, really is.
It really is. Because before somebody comes out to my house, you better believe I'm checking them out on all networks, checking to see what type of, if they have any complaints or if there's any negative reviews and what the negative reviews are about and what they did about it. So many times you hear about contractors taking deposits and then taking off, or getting the money for the whole job, doing half of it and then taking off, never picking up their phone again. So you hear that more and more, and I'm like, wow. How do these people still exist?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I know it's funny. I never thought I'd rely on someone else's opinion. Like when the whole star thing, I'm like, oh, who cares what everyone else thinks?
Right.
And boy, I'll tell you something. I went to buy a toaster on Amazon, and people are really, really, people are like, had studies like, one side toast, one side doesn't. It's a piece of junk. I'm like, I just want something to warm a piece of bread. That's all I'm looking for. And there were like hundreds of reviews about these toasters. And I was like, who has this kind of time to render opinions to such depth about a toaster? But I'm like, well, what do they have to say? Well, let me look. And, so,
and there you go. You start to scroll the reviews for the toaster. You're like, oh my God.
So it does. So it does matter. I mean, these days, the Google star thing, a bad rating, it's death. I mean, it really is these days. You can't get it fixed. So if Bernie can keep a good review going 32 years later plus, and there's a lot of depth to that, because these days people are happy to put you under the bus. The people who don't like you will write much more than people who do.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. You could have thousands of happy customers, but it's the one that
took the time to complain, to write.
Yes, it's that one person that just is super loud and that changes. A bad review can really hurt your business. Just say that. So some people are just crazy and just have no time. We deal with that all the time in our business as well too.
Absolutely.
Especially as an indoor quality expert, is that we see people in different stages and man. It's just, let's just say it's interesting. So, to say the least, and that's why I was saying to Bernie here, it's like, well, God love you for being able to have the patience and great craftsmanship to be able to make everybody happy. Because that is tough being a contractor, to make sure that everybody's happy. You got the right size and it looks good. It's the right height. It's the right color. It's the right everything for their perspective, right? I mean, so, but thank you so much for being on our show. And one last mention of your website, that's hrcincfl.com. Thanks again, Bernie, for being here, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. And Hans, how do we get a hold of you in case you have an insurance dispute?
Sure. Cell phone 407-782-0258. 407-782-0258.
All right. More from us on raflorida.org or contractortalkpodcast.com. We'll talk to you guys next week. See you.